know we serve a promise-keeping Elohim. Let's proclaim it. And let's say it in Shri. Here we go. Wait. Wu Boshesu. Yahuwah. Wait. Wu Boshesu. Yahuwah. You say. Yeah.
Wu Boshesu. Yahuwah.
Wait.
Wu Boshesu.
Here we go. Boshe Kudafo. Yeah. Boshe Kudafo. Boshe Kudafo. Yeah.
Boshe Kudafo.
Say Boshe Kudafo. Every word you say will come to pass. Yeah. Boshe Kudafo. Let's say it in English. Say you fulfill your promises. Yahuwah. You fulfill your promises. Yahuwah. You say. Yeah.
Fulfill your promise. Yahuwah.
You. Yeah.
Fulfill your promises.
Yeah. You keep promises. Say every word you say will come to pass. So you keep promises. Hallelujah.
You keep promises.
Yeah. Say you keep promises. Yeah.
You keep promises.
So you keep promises. You keep promises. Here we go. See, I put my trust in you, yeah. Your word will never return void. It will accomplish all that you promised. You cannot lie. Oh,
I put my trust in you, God. Your word will never reach.
It will accomplish all that you promised. You cannot lie. Yeah. No, you cannot lie. Every word you say will come to pass. You keep promises. Yeah, you keep promises. If you said it, it will happen. Yeah. If you said it will come to pass. Keep promises. Oh, you fulfill your promises. You fulfill your promises. You always do what you say. You fulfill your promises. Yeah.
Shalom, shalom, Miss Prakash. Shalom, shalom, family. I apologize for the last minute late video or live. So anyway, but I'm sure you all have heard, you have seen, news is tracking it as far as, the Iranian president, his helicopter going down. And I guess, and if you're probably wondering like, man, why is everybody, why is everybody covering it? And so the main thing here, family, is it has to do with the implications. It has to do with the implications of this plane or this helicopter going down. And, ultimately right now, we don't necessarily know, as far as I can tell, what brought this helicopter down. It's interesting that you have two narratives, family. You have the narrative on mainstream media, and then you have the narrative in social media. I told you, family, social media is usually always ahead of mainstream media. Case in point, as this song was playing on social media, It appears as though, according to the Israeli media, that they're saying that the president of Iran has passed away. Now, this has not been official just yet, but over on social media, that's the story that's starting to, make its way across social media. And I'm sure mainstream media is going to pick this up eventually. And that's why, family, if this is the case, and if they find that Israel had something to do with this, family, World War III is going to start. As far as like when and where, I mean, who knows? But we're in the early stages of it. They call it, the fog of war, even though it's not really war. But especially with social media, I'm always hesitant to share things from social media without vetting it first. And with that being said, family, I will caution you to say that, some of these reports, they have not been totally confirmed, because I like at least seeing these stories picked up on the mainstream news channels prior to sharing them out. But just because everything's so fresh, everything's so new, everything's so fluent, and I want to get out ahead of this, just take that with a grain of salt that, this is prior to us going through our full vetting process. So some of these things, we just have to wait and see if they are fully, coming to fruition, if they're true or not. All right. So but with that being said, I'm going to share two things with you, family. So like I said, because of the breaking news, coming from the Israeli media that the president of Iran has died of a result of the helicopter crash. And again, not confirmed yet, family, not confirmed. But what I will do, I'm going to bounce back and forth between X, / Twitter, and also the web browser. All right, we're going to go between X and YouTube. We're going to go from social media over to, I know over in YouTube, YouTube also has streams from mainstream media over there. So that's what we're going to use YouTube for. So with that being said, let me share my screen. I know with X, I have to be careful because, X will throw some garbage on your screen in a heartbeat. And I just want to show you this this last post here. Let me see if I can do a share screen. Let me find the window. Let's see if you can find X. Let's allow. All right. So this is what you see on the screen. So 39 seconds ago. And this, just to show you how quickly this is making its way around social media. So this is 39 seconds ago, and already it's been viewed 35,000 times. 32 seconds ago, 35,000 times. And as you can see, Israeli media is now reporting that officials believe that the president of Iran, Ibrahim Raisi, has died as a result of the helicopter crash earlier today near the city of Jaffa in northwestern Iran. And as you can see on also on social media, you will also see pictures in news clips that you won't see on mainstream media. And so these are just, various pictures of the people of Iran, talking about it here as well. And also there was one about the Red Crescent. Let me see if I can pull that one up for you, family. Let's do this. Yeah, because there was an early report of the, some let's see, where is it? Of the Red Crescent team that went out to look for survivors, that they too went missing. But just within the last, I say 10 minutes or so, there are reports that they were found and that they were safe. But let's see, it says this is always happens. It's not an accident. All right, so people are kind of speculating as far as what's happening. And this is like the Red Crescent team that I was telling you about here, as far as like those three members that they were actually found. All right, so these more pictures from Iran, because they were immediately called the Iranian people to prayer. And, maybe you're looking at this, family, sorry, all right, so what does this have to do with me? What does this have to do with anything? And for that, let me also show you, and let me stop sharing that. Let's do share screen again. And hang on, family, let me see if I can share my. Bear with me, family. I'm doing a couple of things at once here. I'm just trying to share out my web browser. And all right, so it's acted up. Let me go back to X right quick. All right, so okay, share that. Let's see. Let's do StreamYard. Let's share that. Okay. All right. So I don't know what is going on with this thing here. All right. Stand by, family. I'm going to try a few things here. I might. Hopefully, I don't lose the feed here. Hang on. There we go. All right, finally. Oh, is it still acting up? StreamYard. All right, yep. Hang on a second, family. All right. So maybe you're sorry. Apologies for that, family. Just having some technical difficulties over here. So maybe you were saying you were wondering, like, so what's the big deal about Iran and the president? Why is everyone trying to hyping this up and paying attention to it? Well, it has to do, family, with what's prophesied to happen or occur in the last days. And one of the prophecies that deals with the Medes, right, was Jeremiah. And we brought this out before. But this has to do with the fall of Babylon, where it talks about, and this is like Jeremiah chapter 51. And for context, if you start at verse 8, and it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain? If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, let us go everyone into his own country. For her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted unto even the skies. Verse 10, and Yahuwah has brought forth our righteousness. Come, let us declare in Zion the work of Yahuwah. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahuwah has raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. For his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahuwah, the vengeance of his temple. Hallelujah. I see one of my brothers saying, Iran has no king. That is correct. However, keep in mind, this is written during biblical times, right? Biblical times. So you don't see president in the scriptures, right? You see kings. All right. So keep it straight, family. All right. So keeping that in perspective, family. So we know that Iran has biblical significance in the Bible when it comes to prophecy, right? And just to show you, family, just in case you're kind of wondering, all right, so what are we talking about? Where is Iran? So I always like to give perspective. So if you look at Iran, so you're looking at a map of Iran, and actually, so if you're wondering where where he was visiting, it was up in this area here in Azerbaijan, at the base of the Caucasus Mountains, right? At the base of the Caucasus Mountains. And if you have a Bible atlas, family, what you'll find out is like this territory of Azerbaijan, this area of Armenia, this is the home location of biblical Ashkenaz, So biblical Ashkenaz is from this place, this location, or some might even locate them in Georgia, but it's just right around this place, just to show you, family, that even the location where what I would say called the King of the Medes has was visiting, it also has biblical significance, right? Because this ties back to the table of nations, right? And we can find this in the scriptures. All right, so that's that, family. But also, let's see here. I don't think this. This probably isn't a good map to show you. All right, we'll skip that for now. But let's just take a look. I just want to show you the difference between this story being covered on mainstream media and the way that the story is being covered on social media. All right, so let's take a look here.
Whatever you do.
Forgive the commercials, family. I'm not able to advance it past some of these commercials, especially if it's a live feed. Well, let's take a look here. I just want to.
Coming from our content partners over at the Associated Press, we're learning a helicopter carrying the Iranian president has suffered a, quote, hard landing on this Sunday. Iranian state media reporting without immediately elaborating. We're told the president was traveling in Iran's East Azerbaijan province. State TV saying the incident happened near a city on the border with the nation of Azerbaijan, some 600 kilometers northwest of the Iranian capital of Tehran. We're told traveling with the president were Iran's foreign minister, the governor of Iran's East Azerbaijan province, and other officials. Now,
all right. Well, and also the reason why there's heightened, how can I put it, heightened sensitivity to this, to the president, because he was the one that authorized the strike against Israel, right? He was the one that authorized the retaliation strike because of the strike against their consulate, right? And so the narrative that's coming out of mainstream media, as you can see, like the main thing is that they're kind of downplaying it. They're saying that it suffers a hard landing, and they're not calling it a hard crash or anything like that. They're just saying, and they also are saying that that it's fog related, like weather related, tough, heavy fog, and you can also see the fog in some of the pictures. But immediately, family, that was the spin that that mainstream media was pushing out. However, social media had a slightly different vibe to it, right? So social media, I keep getting those two mixed up. Social media had a different narrative. And let's pop back over to our social media platform. And for this, we're just going to use X, right? And let's take a look, fam. Let's see, just go to X, Iran, search. All right. And like I said, in X, I have to be careful, family, because there's no telling what images will pop up because it's not filtered at all. But at the very least, family, we can take a look at what mainstream media is showing. Some of this stuff is in a different language, of course, so we're not able to fully see, or understand what's going on. But let's see, president's helicopter and decides to retaliate. Let's see, what does it say? Iran. Oh, okay. Well, they're saying the same thing. So if Iran finds that Israel took part in the crash of the Iranian president's helicopter and decides to retaliate, the U.S. should not get involved. All right. Just people kind of weighing in, right, on what's going on. And especially with everything that was going on in Rafah, in Israel, in Gaza, right, it almost seemed as though, the things that we know for sure, right? We know that, Netanyahu, you see it over and over again, even on mainstream media as well as social media. You know that, Netanyahu, that for his I not want to say legacy, but for him to be able for him to not face criminal charges, and for him to remain in power, mainstream media as well as social media has talked about him perpetuating the war in Gaza, for him to do whatever he has to do to keep it going, right? And so that's why you have this initiative in Rafah, and of course you see all the horror stories and the pictures and stuff coming out of Rafah. But in the back of some people's minds, they're wondering, all right, so we know that Israel can't keep this up forever. They have to do something else, or at least that's what I was thinking, family. And that's why when this popped off immediately, and I wasn't the only one, but immediately, some folks were thinking like, oh man, if this ties back to Israel, this is game over, right? And even on social media, what you also saw, family, was you saw that, it talked about President Biden and his cabinet was, that they were briefed on what was going on, because I'm sure that they are talking about all the different scenarios that could play out because of it. And you kind of wonder, like, if Israel had anything to do with it, if they already know, right? And so this is, as you can see, the weather on the screen. It says the weather in the area of the accident is not helping the rescue. So you can see, if we take these pictures to be what this title says they are, and usually like the Iran Observer is a pretty reliable source on social media. But if this is true, then yeah, it might take a while for them to find them, and the fact that they haven't found them is significant. Or if they have found them, they haven't released any formal updates through the Iranian media just yet. All right, and then I'm going to risk. I'm going to take this off my screen just so that I can filter it just a little bit before I share it, family. I just want to go back to social media, get the latest. Let's see. Response mapping service to view. Okay, so we have more pictures coming out of that area. Let's go back to X. So this one seems like it should be okay to share. All right, so again, this is just more pictures, photos coming out of the area where the helicopter went down. And it says, EU says providing assistance and location. Doomed chopper units. Okay, request. Chopper upon Iran's request. Okay. All right. So again, you might have one narrative coming out of mainstream media, maybe even the EU, and another. It seems like Iran, as far as I could tell, they're a little bit more reserved in as far as explaining root cause, like what happened. So mainstream media, though, they're quick to say, oh, it was the weather. Oh, it was the fog. Yeah. No, it says you're not the only one. All right, Ms. Pacaba, like I said, I don't want to keep you long. I just wanted to bring this to you, and just to let you know that right now there are two competing stories. There's one on mainstream media. Mainstream media is playing up the whole narrative about this being a weather-related incident, that it was a hard crash. They're not really saying anything like it was shot down or anything like that. Whereas on social media, they're kind of staying away from the whole weather narrative for the most part, and mainly just kind of focusing on the search and the rescue. You saw all those pictures of search and rescues, right? And so we'll see, family. We'll see. I know it's early on, and we don't really have a whole lot of answers. Like I said, this was the report coming out of OS Defender. He's also been a reliable source as well for social media posts. But when he says that the Israeli media is now reporting that officials believe, it's not confirmed, but it says that they believe the president of Iran has died. So that's something that I haven't seen quite yet picked up by mainstream media, but that's what social media has put out there. And the pattern that we've seen is that social media is way ahead of mainstream media when it comes to reporting a lot of this stuff. All right, Ms. Pacab. All right, well, like I said, just wanted to put this out there. I wanted you all to know what was going on. I'm sure you all have, if you're kind of like me, you got a lot to do today anyway, so don't want to tie you up. But that's where we are, family. We'll keep you posted. Any major developments come out of this, we expect the search and rescue to continue. And, like I said, the big, I want to say milestone, but what people are waiting for is to find out what caused it to crash. because depending on what caused it to crash could determine if, World War III starts or not. Could determine whether or not Iran goes to full-blown war with Israel or not. If it turns out to be weather-related, then no big deal, right? If it turns out, if that's essentially what it was. But if it turns out to be some sort of nefarious strike against the president, now you have to keep this in mind, family. Israel has already targeted a consulate. Israel has already targeted and destroyed an Iranian consulate, right, which was unprecedented. So that's why, some folks are like, it's not beyond the realm of belief to have Israel have done, be responsible for something like this. But again, we don't know. Just putting that out there. And then also, family, whenever things like this occurs, what also gets lost. Well, I see Sister Fox put it 40 days after the eclipse. Oh, I apologize. Let's see if we can grab that. 40 days after the eclipse. Wow. Yeah, that is something to keep in mind. That's right, family, because, we had the eclipse and we just had what appears to be one thing after the other. And, some may be, inclined to kind of just write this off to coincidence. Some may be inclined to write this off as happenstance. But like I said, in my line of work, family, when you're dealing with, not bragging or anything, but I'm just saying, like, when you're dealing with multi-million-dollar systems for multi-billion-dollar companies, you can't afford for a system to go down even for a second. So anytime something might look like that is that there's a problem, then you jump on it. You roll the fire trucks out, right? You roll your team. You spin up a bridge. Same thing here, family. When you're talking about prophecy and you're talking about the coming of the Messiah, you're talking about the redemption of the children of Israel. Even though people might point to things in the past where folks would say, "Oh, well, we thought it was the end times in the 70s. We thought it was the end times in the 50s. We thought it was the end times in the 30s." So we're just this is a false alarm as well. Could be, but because of the time that we're in, family, because of the importance of the end times and the significance that it has to us, we can't afford to be caught sitting on our hands, right? We have to, take each coincidence or each time that it looks as though that it could be the last days. We have to take it seriously, right? Hallelujah! And shout out to Pastor Kelly. I see Pastor Kelly out in the chat as well. So, all right, but that's it, family. Oh, the thing I wanted to share with you before we got off here, family, and that is that what sometimes gets lost in these major events. And family, this is a major event, and that's another thing, family. It's one thing when you have one event, like if you just had the CV-19, like that was just a major event in itself. But then you had the George Floyd thing, that worldwide global condemnation of the persecution of the melanated Negroes, first time ever, right? Then at the same time, you also had the fires that raged across the U.S., burning record number of acres, right? First time ever. I mean, you just had a first time ever, like back to back. When CV-19 hit, you had a milestone when it had to people being unalived here in this country, first time ever, right? Then you had, you skip ahead and you have this war and all this other stuff. And then you had, Iran and Israel exchanging, missiles and stuff like that, exchanging strikes, first time ever, right? You just start to, run a string of these first time evers in a row. And it's almost, I mean, family, to me, I don't see how anyone could at this point in time, just write this off to just happenstance. I mean, there's just too many unprecedented events happening one after the other. And again, we have this, the president of Iran's and his entourage, going down and possibly being unalived first time, this is again is just like an unprecedented event that's just, it's just one more block right in that the building of what appears to be the making of the last days. So let me do this, family. I'm just going to do one quick check before we hop off here. And what I was saying, family, that the thing that we sometimes forget is who's the next man up. Like when the helicopter goes down, and social media is unfiltered. So when you look at social media, family, on some of the social media comments, you see people with Israeli flags, boasting, of course, about this helicopter going down and the possible unaliving for this person. But what's lost, family, is who's the next man up. Because a lot of times, family, the next man up is worse than the one that just got unalived. Think about that, family. That's one of the things that I did when I saw that the Iranian president went down. One of the first things I did was like, okay, well, then who's the vice president? Uh-oh, sounds like trouble. Sounds like trouble. And actually, let me see if Pastor Kelly has anything to add. I know, Pastor Kelly, you're probably on the move, kind of like I am this morning, but let me just check with you just to see if you have anything to add here, Pastor Kelly. So bear with me just for a second. I'm going to pop over to my my email here, and Pastor Kelly, what I'll do is I'll shoot you the link, and like I said, if you want to hop on, that's cool. If not, that's fine. Let's see, we'll do StreamYard, and all right, and then let's do invite, copy. All right, yep. Apologies, fam. A lot of the stuff that I would do in preparation for, for the live, I didn't get a chance to do. Normally, of course, there was a series of videos that we would run, and there's some presentations that I would put together, but this was just so unexpected, that, and I didn't really have a whole lot of time to prepare for it. And I see some of the comments. Yep. Just kind of throwing up some of the comments here. Let's see here. Hang on, fam. Okay. All right. Well, I see you, Pastor Kelly. So Pastor Kelly. So we're good, family. So it looks like we're good. So what we'll do, family, was we'll get off here, and I will let me just, like I said, I'm gonna just do one more search, see if we can get the latest. And we don't really have a whole lot in the latest as far as Iran. And some of these were 2 hours ago, 1 hour ago. And then let's do a quick check over on mainstream media just to see if they have any updates, if they're also carrying the story of possibly the Iranian president passing away. But let's do one quick check before we hop off. And let's see here. News about. All right, so yeah, I checked Fox earlier. I don't necessarily like staying with Fox News.
Recordings just got better.
And this was that was 3 hours ago. So that was the same one that we saw. So all right, so that's it. All right, fam. Well, hey, share your thoughts, family. What do you all think is going on, family? Do you think that this has any significance, any biblical significance? Is it just happenstance? Is it just, or are we seeing, Yahuwah bringing those nations over in that area as hard as they kick and scream to Armageddon? Is this what we're witnessing? Before our very eyes. And that in itself, family, is just wise. It's a time that our forefathers probably would have would have wished that they could live to see. And here we are, family, because it means that the redemption of Israel is close at hand. All right, Mr. Cobb. All right, family. Well, like I said, I'm not going to keep you. I know I said that about 5 times, 10 times, but I keep kind of peeking over on, the feed just to see if there's. Okay. Okay, so they got all kinds of stuff in here. What the guy ran. Yeah. So all kinds of memes on here. That's why I say X family is unfiltered. It's unfiltered. So anyway, but they'll figure it out, and we'll wait and see. All right. Well, love you, Miss Picard. Have a great rest of your day. Like I said, just if I see anything on social media that's major, we'll hop on here just to make sure that Miss Picard is aware. Not trying to not trying to stoke fear or anything like that, but just general awareness as far as what's going on, because mainstream media tends to try to hide things. Mainstream media tries to keep things from our foreknowledge, and just want to make sure that we are aware of things, just so that we know what to pray for, and pray for the redemption of Israel. And maybe for some of us, this is just confirmation of the sign of the times, and hopefully maybe it stirs up your faith and increases your walk with Yahuwah. So praise Yahuwah if it does that. Hallelujah. All right. We love you, Ms. Picard. Talk to you later. Peace and blessings, family, and shalom.